Everybody, my name is Dan Kornhauser.
And my name is Bobby Hunt.
Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Shoot the J, Shoot It, where we're going to talk about all the happenings around the NBA, get you touched up on what's been going on, what we look forward to coming up during the week. We're going to, of course, verbally abuse our favorite team a little bit because no show is complete without that. But before we start, I do want to remind you guys that we are powered by betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for sportsbook and casino sites. Head on over to betting.net. So, Bob, we have something special going on in the NBA right now. Steph Curry doing legend shit, as legends do. I know we have a lot of off the screen, offline conversations about these sorts of things, and I am not on the Curry bandwagon on a few fronts. But credit has to be given where credit is due. The man just broke the three-point record. He passed Ray Allen. Of course, he does it at MSG because everybody does legendary things against the Knicks. Why not? But we just saw history, Bob. Pretty cool shit.
It was awesome. I mean, of course, it happens at MSG, like you said. We've seen a million huge performances by stars, legends over the years. Like I said, too, in a text, doesn't bother me as much. He only needed 2. It's not like he went off for 7. He may still do that. Currently, the Knicks are actually winning by 2, but that could very well change and probably will. But we'll get to that in a second. It's an honor for Curry. Congratulations to him. He's obviously worked really hard to get to this point in his career. He's had an outstanding, historic, legendary career. Now, obviously, you don't agree with this, but he has changed the game, revolutionized it in different ways, and it was about time. He finally sets it. They thought maybe he could get it last night in Indiana. Didn't happen. He did hit 5 threes, but he needed 7 to break it.
Yep.
He comes in tonight, needed only 2. He got 2 within 5 minutes, basically. I figured that was going to be the case. I think he wants to be done with it anyway and just get it out of the way. So now it's over and done with. He's the all-time record holder. And now the question is just how high can he set the bar? Because he could definitely put it out of reach. As much as the game has changed and you will see a lot of guys get higher on these three-point lists, like I do think Ray Allen, Reggie Miller will be passed by other guys in the future. Curry right now is set it at 29.74. I believe he's hit another 3 in this game so far. They're playing Knicks, and it's in that second quarter still. And he's just going to keep adding to it. He's 33 right now. Clearly, he's still playing at a very high level, could arguably win MVP. Where is he going to set this record at? And when it's all said and done, where is this going to be?
Dude, your guess is as good as mine. He's just going to keep making it rain. Hashtag Rain Man. So if you tag us on anything, that's tonight's hashtag. Hashtag Rain Man.
I love it. Nice.
But no, I mean, I don't want to break my arm jerking this man off too much, but
yuck.
He's the greatest shooter of all time, and this is what shooters do. Shooters shoot, and it's very, very, very nice to say that out loud on Shoot the J over here. So, hashtag shooter shoot.
Hey, he should absolutely get to about 4,000 threes, though. He's at 29.70 something now with a couple more threes in this game. And you figure if he plays 4 or 5 more seasons, he's going to hit probably another 400 threes this year. He's the only player to ever do that. He's done it in a previous year. And so he's easily going to get, as long as he doesn't get any crazy injury, to 4,000. Hell, he could get it to 5,000 if he plays as long as some other guys. I don't know if there's a stop in sight for him. I don't know.
Now let's move on from Curry. They are playing the Knicks right now, and I said offline that they should probably beat the Knicks by 20 tonight because the Knicks suck ass. Where do we stand with the Knicks right now, Bob? I mean, it's just disappointing every single day, every single week. They're, again, on another 3-game losing streak. They're 12-15. They're sitting at 12 in the East right now. Just a couple of games ahead of Indiana. We know how bad Indiana's been.
as much as I would love to host a daily show with you, now we want to do multiple sports. If we were doing an NBA show every day, that would be awesome. Have sponsorships, get paid to do that. But it would be really hard to be talking about this team every day. I'm not going to lie to you. It's painful just doing this each week because we're going to start sounding like broken records if things don't change. Hasn't really changed much since we started doing Shoot the J 2 weeks ago. They were playing the Nets that night. They did play a close game, even though they were getting blown out at points. Wound up losing. Last week, they actually did wind up beating the Spurs, so that was good. That was a game they pretty much led wire to wire. But that's been the exception. Since then, they lost 3 in a row. Lost by 20 to the Pacers. Lost a heartbreaker to the Raptors, where, again, like a lot of the games in the past month, they were getting blown out only to come back and stage a fight. That's the one good thing, at least, about this team is that there's not a lot of quit in them. They will fight and claw their way back. But then they lose to Milwaukee, which is fully expected. Milwaukee's just a far superior team. I'm not too upset about that one, but they did lose by 15. We're getting blown out by worse than that. Where we stand right now is they're a mess. They're outside the playoffs looking in. They have major problems at the point guard position. They, too, now have been hit by the COVID problem that's plaguing not only the NBA, but a lot of the other sports leagues as well. Barrett's not playing tonight. Toppin's not playing. I believe there's at least 1 or 2 others that have been out for the last couple games or so. It hurts. It hurts every team, but especially when you're playing as badly as the Knicks. They're in a state of flux. Things got to change. And maybe with the COVID, it'll help a little bit because we're seeing new guys play. We're seeing Miles McBride, the rookie, come up from the G League and get some minutes. Quentin Grimes had a huge game on Sunday, set the record.
I think he got sent back down.
Yeah, and Quentin Grimes set the record with 7 3-pointers in that game, a rookie record for the Knicks, that is, and 27. He had 27 points in the game. So, and Kevin Knox, even who we left for dead, is getting minutes in this game as well as the last few. So maybe they can find a rotation that works. Maybe find someone that hadn't been a factor at all that can be a contributing factor. That's really the only hope short of Randall really stepping it up. That's the main thing that needs to happen because I don't see a trade immediately on the horizon. There's not going to be some free agent they pick up that's going to make a huge difference. So it's really about their best players playing at a high level. Randall has to be better for this team to go anywhere this season.
We are, what are we, Bob? 7 weeks into the season, 8 weeks into the season?
I think it's actually the week 9.
9, okay.
But yeah, so it's every team has played pretty much 25 games at this point. We're over a quarter, we're past the quarter way point.
So we're past the quarter point, and I'm already done with this team.
Done with them all of last year, and they had a great season. So this is no surprise.
I'm done with them. This team is just so frustrating on so many levels. You know, Washington this year, Cleveland, they're having the type of year that the Knicks should be having. Cleveland's 17-12. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Okay, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and I think it's safe to say, at least coming into the season, no one outside of maybe Cleveland, and I don't even think Cleveland fans would have put the Cavs in such a position at this point in the season. They probably expected this team to be one of the worst, which would be fair considering the roster makeup. But Jared Allen is looking like a beast. Giving him a big contract seems like a huge win. Evan Mobley is looking like the best rookie in the NBA. I mean, what's his face? The guard, Garland, is playing out of his mind. And then I look at the Knicks. We have Julius Randle. Okay. All-star. Led us to a 4 seed last year. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Now he's back to looking like the Randle from the Lakers, and this is what I was expecting all along. And now the Knicks are back to reality. floundering outside the playoffs, not even in the play-in range right now. And honestly, dude, I don't know if that's going to change. And at this point, I know in the preseason we were talking about maybe making trades. Oh, are the Knicks going to add Beal? Are they going to add this guy or that guy? At this point, just trade everybody. Now that we can move people, just get rid of these guys. I'm done with them. I'm done with Fournier. Kemba's already fucking out. I'm done with these guys. Just clean house. Trade Noel. Trade everybody you can trade. I'd even consider trading Barrett if it was worth it at this point. I'm so over it. I'm so over all of it. And I've heard some rumors that, maybe the Knicks will trade for Russell Westbrook or John Wall in a 4-team trade or something absurd. And I wanted to just drive my car into the Hudson River when I heard that. I just can't. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely repulsed with this team. Absolutely disgusted. Now, but the problem is, I don't know who to blame. Yeah, sure, we got to put the blame on the players. Randall's playing like ass. Barrett fell off. I don't know what happened to this guy. He's so up and down. It's gross. Our team defense is so inconsistent. Fournier can't buy a bucket, despite the fact that we bought him for his buckets at $18 million a year, and this guy is doing nothing. Waiver wire material for those of you who play fantasy, and nothing's working. Do we put all the blame on the players or do we blame Thibodeau? I don't know. I don't know who to blame at this point. I really don't.
Well,
it's just all around. It sucks.
The coach usually gets scapegoated. I think one of the big problems, they still don't have an answer at point guard. Yes.
Do you blame the front office, Leon Rose and them?
Well, that's where I'm going, basically. There's multiple people to blame. Very rarely is it all on one person, unless maybe you're Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. But anyway, with the Knicks, I do think part of it's the front office in the makeup of this team. I do think it's going to be better than this. I'm not as pessimistic as you are. Yeah, and did I think they were a contender last year? Seriously, no. I don't think they are this year either. But I still think this is a team that's better than 12 and 15. I will say that. I do still expect them to make the playoffs. But one thing that has hurt them for pretty much 2 decades now is just the constant state of flux at the point guard position. Yeah, you get some nice contributions from Derrick Rose or Emmanuel Quickly, but those are still bench pieces. Those are still guys off the bench that at this point are really more scorers. Totally to opposite ends. You have Derrick Rose, the veteran who's 32 or 33 now. Quickly, only 22 or 23, young spark plug off the bench. But they still just don't have that guy who can distribute the ball, run the offense. They're hoping maybe they'd get some semblance of Kemba Walker's pass. They knew he wasn't what he used to be, but when we talked about it before the season, we were thinking, all right, if they can even get 70% of him, they'll take that. That didn't work out. Already he's out of the rotation. And last year, I would have loved Halliburton. Don't get me wrong, I still love Obi Toppin, but they didn't need another power forward. That was a big mistake. If they had Tyrese Halliburton, I think that would really help this team currently. Would have helped them last year too. And then not only that, he would be in a better position. With the Kings, it's just a logjam of guards there. No doubt he's still playing well, but Tom Thibodeau would be a much better coach for him than Luke Walton or now Alvin Gentry. So that was a big mistake last year. And then Fournier hasn't worked out. The moves they made in the offseason was basically bring everyone back and sign Kemba, who, again, I'm not too upset about it because he got bought out. They didn't have to pay him a lot. It's $8 or $9 million for each year. But the Fournier contract right now looks bad. He's way too inconsistent. He's got to be better. And the biggest factor really is Randall. I still come back to that. He deserves some of the blame. He just doesn't look like the same player he was last year. He still will put up numbers every now and then, but it's not as consistent. And he's got to look for a shot more. He's way too deferential. There's too many times where he's not even looking at the basket. The other night, I think it was against the Raptors, I want to say, he only had 7 or 8 field goal attempts. He's got to be shooting more than that. I get that sometimes he wants to get his teammates involved, and I appreciate that. He still plays hard, but he's got to get back to the dog he was last year and really lead this team.
This team is just so lifeless, dude. And it's every week with these clowns, man. And since they benched Walker, they're 1-6 since they benched him.
Yeah, it's not like they were winning before that, though. I mean, they're 7 in the last 10. So if you want to go
But one of their excuses, oh no, I'm sorry. One of their reasons for benching him was the fact that their defense was so piss poor when he played. Well, they're 28th in defense in that span. They're at 117.9 points allowed per 100 possessions. Just terrible. Just awful. And
when he
even
was on the court, though, they were also one of the worst team in the league defensively. Like the numbers showed when he was on the court, they were way worse defensively. So
no, I know they were 30th instead of 28th.
But I can't say, oh well, there's any correlation between sitting him and them still being bad.
My point is it that bad when no one on your team is doing anything? You have all these guys sitting, and you're still not going to play this man. It's that bad. That's it. It's game blouses for this guy's career. That's it.
Well, you make a good point there, but yeah, they probably want to play the younger guys. They did have multiple first and second round picks this past offseason, and so they're getting the burn instead. But I don't blame them.
So lean in. If you're gonna play Quentin Grimes and you're gonna give Kevin Knox more burn, Kevin friggin' Knox, bro. Another forgotten man, nobody. If we're going to give these guys, young guys, playing time, just lean into it. Tear it all down. Trade all the vets. Trade Burks. Trade Kemba. Trade all these guys. Trade them all. Get a second-round pick for Kemba if you can at this point. Just unload these guys. Tell Randall, you know what, Randall, we're going to give you the LeBron treatment. We're going to sit you when he, his first year in LA. We're going to make believe you're hurt, and you're going to sit for a week or so here and there, and we're going to rest you on back-to-backs, and we're just going to take it easy this year, see if we can build it again in the offseason, and just clean slate. It's over for these. Oh, it's over for these times. I'm so disgusted. Anyway, let's move on. I'm done talking about these fools. It's over for that. All right, but before we go on, and I get more disgusted, I do want to remind you guys that your top sportsbook comparison site is betting.net. Betting.net offers extensive reviews on the best sports books out there. So head on over to betting.net. Let's move on from these just disgusting Knicks. And let's talk about some fun stuff, all right? Now every player in the NBA can be traded. The player hold, the signing guys in the offseason, and you got to wait to trade them. That deadline has passed. Now everyone in the NBA is on the table, and the rumors are flying. And it's not just the Ben Simmons rumors. It's Simmons, it's Westbrook, it's Kyrie, it's the Pacers. The Trailblazers are trying to move Nurkic and Covington. I mean, we're all over the place. So are there any trade rumors that stand out to you as more realistic and reasonable than just pure rumors?
At this moment, not really, honestly, because I don't see the Wizards moving Beal because they're actually having some success at the moment. Today, you had the rumor come out about potentially KP for Kyrie. I think that's definitely a rumor. I don't think there's really a lot of legs to it. And besides that, I just don't see it as a very realistic move anyway. I think really that Durant wants to excuse me there. Durant
what is this, amateur hour?
Dude, I have my phone on silent and somehow a call still comes through. I don't know what to tell you.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Why we can't?
You should have answered it you should have answered it on the air like we're in high school. Mr. Hunt, what couldn't wait until after class for your cell phone? Why don't you answer it in front of the whole class and let everyone know what was so important that couldn't wait till after class? And then what? Bring your cell phone up to my desk and you can get it after class. And then we can have a conversation about responsibility and you not being a shit.
You can get this after class.
You suck. All right? You suck.
Thanks. You know what? You suck. I don't hear you.
Anyway, go on. Talk about the trades.
KP for Kyrie, I don't think it's too realistic. And, well, Simmons is the only one where, I'd say he's definitely on the block. I think they want to trade him. But it's hard to trade him when no one's seen him on the court since they got eliminated and he looked like crap. And so his value's shot right now.
No one wants that damn jabroni.
Well, someone's gonna be interested. There's gonna be teams calling them to discuss the deal. I don't doubt that. So I do think that's the most realistic rumor. I don't have an exact trade lined up, but I don't think he's going to get traded for Lillard, for example, or CJ McCollum, obviously, because now he's dealing with his own issues. So right now, in the moment, I'd say Ben Simmons potentially getting traded is the most likely rumor. But I don't think there's a trade that scenario basically that I've heard that I would say, oh yeah, I think that's really going to be the one that winds up happening.
Can you tell me why these rumors around Kyrie getting traded are still popping up? I haven't heard anything about this man rescinding his threat to retire if he were to be traded. So why does his name keep coming up? Why do people think he's going to get moved? And
well, literally because
what's the fascination with it? I just don't understand it.
Well, you heard the report yesterday. I forget who it was that broke whatever story it was. I don't know how much legs that has either. But basically saying that they're talking about him potentially coming back. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon. I don't know if it's basically something that he's only discussed with his teammates, or maybe the organization's been in contact with him. So I think that's where it started. And then, yeah, once you get his name out into the media, out into the press, because, yeah, people had forgotten about him for the past month at least. So now he's back in the news, particularly in the NBA news, of course. And that's going to happen because right now there's not going to be any changes to the New York mandates. If anything, there's going to be stricter mandates. So he's not going to be able to play in Brooklyn for the Nets. He can only be a visiting player if he were to come back. So that's where people start speculating perhaps he does get traded. Obviously, there's other stars out there that are on the block. So perhaps they're speculating it makes more sense if he's traded for another star, because I don't see any team trading first-round picks and young players for someone like Kyrie. It's just not going to happen. So if he is going to get traded, I do think it would be for a fellow star.
I'm done with Ben Simmons too.
You're just done with everybody.
I'm done with the NBA, I think, at this point. I'm just so disgusted. I'm disgusted with everything. I'm disgusted with the Knicks. I'm disgusted with these ass trade rumors. I'm done with Ben Simmons. I'm done with COVID and tearing through the NBA and all these dumb regulations and stuff that's affecting sports. I'm done with all of it. This is a sad Dan show where I'm just down on all things NBA. I'm down on my team. I'm down on my fantasy players, and it's ugly. And now we got COVID tearing through the NBA. Half the Nets roster is out because of COVID stuff, including James Harden. I think they're only down to like 7 or 8 healthy players coming into this game. I think they have to bring somebody up from G League or something like that on an emergency, but it's really threatening. It's
don't forget damn near the entire Bulls roster.
Yeah, dude.
This week, both Tuesday, tonight and Thursday, both got postponed. They had very few players that were going to be available, so they were under the minimum. And the Nets, you're right. The news broke late today that Harden was added to that COVID list. They are playing right now. I want to check the score to see where they're at in that game. They're actually leading. They're up 10 on the Raptors early in the third. But they have a very slimmed down roster. They're having to play. Look at this guy, David Duke. Actually, I do recognize his name. But the Providence product is playing and starting. So you just see how bad it is around the league. That's one main example. Other games getting postponed. Other teams having dudes test positive. It's really bad. You hope everyone gets healthy and that they follow all the protocols and that they can get back sooner than later. But obviously health is the main thing. So they're going to have to sit out at least 10 days.
That's ugly, dude. I know Giannis was just added to the health and safety protocols as well. He's out for Wednesday's game. Kyle Kuzma had been on the list for the Washington Wizards. He's questionable for the game against the Kings tomorrow. He's one of those guys who's also missed the last couple games. So we'll see if he's due to come back. Deandre Ayton. Now, this one is a non-COVID illness, but he still missed time the last 2 games due to this illness. He's going to be back for tonight's game against the Blazers. But this sort of stuff is going all around the league right now. And it's not just basketball-related injuries like Middleton with his left knee hyperextension issue, or Paul George with his elbow sprain. It's a lot of health and safety protocols. Serge Ibaka is ruled out for Wednesday's game against the Jazz, and the list goes on and on and on. And it's going to get uglier before it clears up because we're going into the winter, going into indoor activities and all that stuff. It's going to be a real crazy winter. Bruce Brown for the Nets is on COVID protocols. Ish Smith for the Hornets.
Well, the Hornets we talked about last week. So now they have a lot of their guys back. Terry Rozier came back yesterday. I would imagine LaMelo Ball will come back in the next game or two. Well, you're right. There's still so many guys sitting out. There's going to be more. We've had plenty of injuries otherwise that you alluded to. I've also seen a lot of hamstring injuries.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, he did finally come back last night. Alex Caruso missed a couple games with hamstring injury. Devin Booker has still been out. He has a hamstring injury. And there's I think one other major player that had a bad bum hamstring. This isn't it because I know Malcolm Brogdon missed some games with a hamstring issue. But we're also seeing a lot of guys that maybe aren't in the best conditioning right now. It is basketball. These things are going to happen anyway. But it's really unfortunate that so many major players are out. And now we're going to see probably even more games get postponed.
Yeah, like I said, it's ugly, and it's only a matter of time. We're going to see more postponements. We're going to see more guys sitting out, and I hate it. I think everyone's over this whole.
Dan is disgusted. He's over it. He's done with it.
Done. D-U-N. Done. Done for the day. Done.
Forget the hashtag of Rain Man. It's hashtag disgusted. Hashtag repulsed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hashtag done. D-U-N. Just. I need to have like a button, like like the Staples button that says, "Hey, that was easy." I need to say one, "Hey, I'm absolutely repulsed."
Yeah, you do. You need to put that product out there. You'll get. You need to go on Shark Tank. There you go. That's your $1 million.
So, I do want to say, The Grueling Truth is powered by Betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding the online casino or sportsbook that's right for you. So head on over to Betting.net. Now, we've talked Knicks. We've talked COVID stuff. A little bit of trade stuff. Steph Curry breaking records out here. Damn legend. Is there... Oh, yeah, there's a couple other things we want to talk about, actually. One of them being Zion. Because we talked about Zion, I want to say last week, and I asked you, is it relevant? Does anybody care? And that was when the news came out that he was potentially going to be showing back up soon and practicing and stuff like that. Well, it's over for that. He's been dealing with a setback, so Zion is out for the foreseeable future. Is it over for this kid already, Bob? Is this just going to be the narrative for his career?
It very well could be. Not going to deny it because there are some dangerous signs, but he is still a very talented basketball player who was great when he was on the court. He's still only, 21? So all those guys, Barrett, I think, just turned 21. So they're all in the same class, Morant. So there's still a lot of time. And I don't always go this route. I don't look at necessarily conspiracy theories, but you could all maybe think that perhaps he has gotten out of shape or his best to get back on the court because he really doesn't want to be there. Because I already heard the rumblings in the offseason that he was potentially disgruntled and would maybe want to get traded out of there. He didn't request a trade. I'm not saying that, but there were those rumors out there that he doesn't want to be with the New Orleans Pelicans anymore. Do you think there's anything to that, or am I just crazy speculating?
No, I think there's definitely something to that. No one wants to be in New Orleans, at least sports-wise. It's a cool party city.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a good party city. It's it's a nice situation, I guess, for young people. But AD didn't want to stay there. It's not like the New Orleans Saints were bringing in high-profile free agents in the offseason. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It has so much to do with with living there or anything. I know it's not the biggest market. It's actually, I think, the second smallest in the NBA. I believe only Memphis is a smaller market. But it's really about the team. They botch a lot of picks. They don't have a good roster around them. They brought in Stan Van Gundy last year and already had to get rid of him after 1 year. So it's just organization's a mess. I don't think it's so much about New Orleans, the city, honestly.
I mean, when it comes to their coach, they had to get rid of him. Let's be honest. And that's the other thing. Why do teams insist on these retread coaches?
Oh,
why?
This discussion again? Yeah, I agree.
Yes,
with
yes,
here.
we are. We're gonna have this discussion again because I just don't get it.
And we mean retreads that didn't have success elsewhere, or especially their last job showed no signs that he was a good coach still. Like Rick Carlisle obviously made sense to us because he had a lot of success with Dallas. They were still a playoff team these last 2 years with Doncic, so we like that hire with the Pacers. But yeah, Stan Van Gundy last year to New Orleans made no sense. He had just come from, I think he took off a year, but he was with the Pistons for a few years as both, I think, their coach and GM. Had no success there. He obviously did with Orlando in his first head coaching job, but that's over 10 years ago now that he had that success with Dwight Howard down in Orlando. So, yes, you're right. I don't get all the retreads, especially that aren't any kind of special coach. You want to rehire Carlisle to a job, or even teams that rumor about Jeff Van Gundy, that would make sense to me. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau made sense. He's had success with both the Bulls and the Timberwolves. But guys like Jason Kidd, I don't understand. I totally agree with you on this. And throw out the other names out there that you want, because there's plenty of them around the NBA that I still don't get why they have a job. At least as a head coach, of course.
So, Bob, I'm going to throw out 3 names, okay? And we're gonna go with this segment and we're gonna wrap things up, I think. But I just want to touch back up on the NBA trade rumors and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you 3 names, okay?
All right.
We're gonna play the whole marry one,
Here we go.
Kill one,
bang one,
bang one. Yeah, it's a good term, Bob. I like that. So we're gonna go with that game, okay? And here are the 3 names: Simmons, Russell Westbrook, and Kyrie.
Wow, this is a tough one. I like it.
Now with the trade scenario of this game, with the marry one, kill one, bang one, obviously the marry is a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best thing that you're looking for. Then bang would be the second one. Then kill would be the last one. So in terms of most likely to get traded, would you say?
Weird way to put it. Okay.
Something like that. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm definitely killing Kyrie. I don't like Kyrie as a player. I haven't for a while now. And I'm just not dealing with that. Granted, if he were to get traded to most other locations outside of the Warriors, the Knicks, and the Raptors, I think at this point, he could play every game. So they don't have the same requirements that there are in New York City, San Francisco, and Toronto. So in that aspect, he is the best player of all those. So you do have that factor. So I'm going to kill him. So then we got to marry or bang one.
Simmons and Westbrook, baby.
This is bad.
Like, ugly.
Because you got to take these factors into consideration. What's funny is that I'm killing Kyrie, but honestly, the other consideration I was taking him into was marry, because he's the best player. If you can tell me Kyrie's going to get traded and he's going to be able to play every game for that team, removing injuries, of course, from this, but you tell me like he's going to be committed, he's going to show up to practice and all that, like, yeah, I'd take Kyrie for marry. But I just can't. I just can't trust him after all the crap he's pulled. He's still getting paid a gazillion dollars a year right now, even though he's not playing at all or around the team. So that's a joke for one. So I'm going to kill him. This is tough, but I'll say I'll marry Simmons simply because he's the youngest player of them, and probably wherever he were to get traded to, they're not going to expect him to be definitely not the best player, and maybe even not the second best player, because at least with him, you're getting a great defensive player. He can distribute the ball. He's tall. In the right situation, especially if he is a third option, that's a perfect situation for him. And that leaves Russell Westbrook, who I guess I'm going to bang because, well, it could be fun. You never know. He can definitely make it fun. And you get these triple double performances, and he puts up points. He's a mile a minute up and down the court, plays his ass off, plays every game. But the problem is he just sucks in the clutch. He takes ill advised shots, does dumb crap with the ball, silly turnovers. I can't marry that. The Lakers are struggling with him right now. I think they'll get it straightened out. I've been probably more pro Lakers and positive about them than most people. But I think that's what I'm going to have to go with. I'm going to marry Simmons, bang Westbrook, and kill Kyrie.
I'm going to do something similar, but I'm going to marry Westbrook. I'm going to bang Ben, and I'm going to have to kill the Kyrie. But I'm going to flip it because Ben's value is at an all-time low. He is just broken. He's a broken player, broken man, mentally weak. And that's a problem when you're talking about your potential starting point guard. Yeah, the defense is right, like you said. Yes, he can get to the basket at will. Yes, the passing is impressive. The vision, the passing is impressive. But the mental is a big thing to overcome. It's a huge factor. It is a huge factor because you could be, I don't even know who could trade for him at this point. Let's say it's Portland. You could be a Portland sitting at the 10th seed right now, 11 and 16. You want to make a move for Ben. You acquire Ben. Do you really think Ben could live next to a dog like Lillard and survive on a night when Lillard, when Lillard drops 30 and Ben goes out there and scores 4 points, gets 9 assists, a couple steals, but he shoots 2 of 10 or something like that, and they lose. You think how many games of that Lillard's going to deal with, or I don't know. It's just one of those things. The only thing that keeps me from killing Ben in a trade scenario like this is the fact that I think Kyrie is unmovable. I take his threat that he would rather retire than play somewhere else. And
I'm glad you mentioned just the trade value aspect because that's even more reason why I would maybe marry Ben Simmons. Now the Sixers are holding pat. Maybe they'll keep their heels dug in and not trade him for less than what they expect. But I feel like they're going to have to at some point. It doesn't seem like he's coming back. It doesn't work anyway. We've seen it for a few years now that it didn't work. And so that's another reason is probably whatever team he goes to might not even have to give up a whole lot to trade for him. So that's even more why I like him as the marry option here. But like you said, all those reasons are legitimate, why I'd be concerned, things that are problems. But at the same time, he is playing with a dog currently, or was. I think Embiid's that type of player. He gives the full effort. Yeah, obviously he hasn't been in the league as long as Dame, but I don't think it's like a football locker room or anything. I think Dame, would get tight and upset with Ben at times. But I think the reason why we heard him and talked about it last week about potentially maybe wanting Simmons in the fold is because he would try to take him under his wing. Now, you're right. He's a little mentally weak. We don't know if it would work out, but that's all I can surmise is why Dame wants him is he figures, look, this guy's 25 or 26. He can do some different things. He's got the size. I don't have to handle the ball all the time, and I'll take him under my wing and make him a better player. That's all he can hope for.
Man, Ben Simmons, call that man Stay Puffed. That man's soft.
He's soft.
Squishy. Grizzly bear. Girth for no reason. But one more. Betting.net finds the best promotions, offers, and bonus codes so you don't have to. Head on over to their website, betting.net, now to take advantage of things like free bets and matching deposits. And we, of course, are powered by betting.net. But I want to give a special thanks to all you guys who tuned in, watched us. The numbers were fluctuating throughout the show, but we love you guys for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, topics you want us to discuss, or you just want to chime in, don't be afraid. There's a little chat option. Send those comments over. I'll get them. I'll post them up here while we're talking, and we'll shout you out. show some love. If you want to get a shout out or something, let us know as well. That's more than acceptable. But, Bob, we are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. What's the handle these people should follow?
That handle be DB Talking Sports, D as in Dan, B as in Bob. Hit us up, drop a comment, like. I'm also doing this betting podcast. I just started last week, so that'll be Bobby's Best Bets. I actually had a good week, went 4-1. So I'm going to review those results tomorrow. I'll post that, and it'll especially be available not only at night, but probably Thursday morning. I'll post it on those platforms. So looking for another good week. We're going to try to get back to doing some of our own podcasts here down the line, probably after the holidays. There's so much going on. Dan's also got his not a podcast, but you do a live show like this, your NFL draft show on Mondays. You're going to have your picks tomorrow. So hit us up on Untitled Truth, where legends speak. Thank you guys for letting me use this platform. And then, check out our content. We're pumping it out there. There's a lot of good stuff that gets discussed, a lot of shit talking as well, especially with Dan and the boys. It's always
so we have fun on Wednesdays.
Yes, we do. So yeah, we appreciate it. Follow us, like us, find Dan and Bob Talking Sports on any podcast platform, and subscribe. We'd appreciate it.
There you go. So for Bobby Hunt, I'm Dan Kornhauser. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was Shoot the J. Shoot it. Brought to you by betting.net here on the Grueling Truth Network. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.